Okay, this video is about finding the volume of prisms, cylinders, pyramids, and cones. These will be the solids that we'll look at especially anyway. And so for prisms and cylinders, they share the same formula, and pyramids and cones, they share the same formula. And if you remember, prisms are similar to cylinders, with the exception of the base for prisms are polygons, and the base for cylinders are circles. And pyramids and cones both start out with a base, pyramids with a polygon base, and cones with a circular base, and they go up to a point. Okay? So the formula for prisms and cylinders is volume equals the base times the height. Now it's important to make a note here that the B in this base represents the surface area of the base. Okay, the surface area of the base of the solid. If you're thinking of the base of a triangle, that's a line. You know, when you have a triangle, the base is going to be a straight line. But in this case, we're talking about the base is the whole surface area of the entire base of the solid. We'll talk about what that looks like in just a second. But just make a note that it is in square units. And then for pyramids and cones, the same formula is base times height, except for now, you'll take the final solution and divide it by 3. Sometimes you might see this written volume equals 1/3, and then in parentheses base times height. You'll get the same effect either way. So we'll just have this to make it simple. Alright, let's do a few examples. Up here we have a triangular prism, and we can see that this triangular prism is a 5 by 8, and I don't think I wrote it in, but this is a right triangle. So if we just draw an 8 by 5 triangle, and it's a right triangle, and some of you guys got confused. We don't need to be concerned with this side because we're finding area, not the perimeter. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 times base times height. That's the area of just a triangle, okay? Because we're finding this. That was the note on the last one. We're finding the surface area of all this first, okay? So the area, to find the surface area of this triangle, it's 1/2 base times height. Okay, now I'm going to do this in my head here. 1/2 times, well, we can do height times base if we want. Height times base if we want first. 1/2 times 8 is 4, and then 4 times 5 is 20. So the area of the triangle is 20. Okay, 20. And so to find volume, the volume is the area of the base times the height of the actual 3D prism, the solid. So that 20 that we just calculated, the 20 ends up being our surface area for our base, the B. And then we can see that the height here is 9. So in order to find the volume, all we will do is volume equals 20 times the height of our prism was 9, and then that gives us the volume equals 180. Okay, and then the units here, volume units are cubed. Okay, so again, the surface area of the base times the height of the solid. Okay, now let's see. We have a cylinder here, and this time the radius is written at the top. That's fine. The radius is 5. So again, we need to find what is the surface area of this whole base, this whole circle. Well, in order to do that, we need to find the area of the circle, which is the area equals pi times the radius squared. And if the radius is 5, we'll do 5 squared is 25, and 25 times pi, 3.14, is the area equals 78.5. That is the surface area of the base. So we can call this the base equals 78.5. Again, volume equals the base times the height, and in this case our height is 6, so we're going to do volume equals 78.5 times 6. and we will get the answer of volume equals 471, and then let's not squared, cubed units. Cubed. Okay, let's try some cone pyramids. Alright, now we have a I purposely had the dimensions for these next examples the same because we've already calculated the surface area of the base. So you remember the 5x8 triangle, the base surface area was 20, and the volume for a pyramid or a cone is the surface area of the base times the height divided by 3. Okay, so in this case volume equals 20 times the height, which is 9, divided by 3. I'm going to make the math a little easier for myself and cancel. Hopefully you remember how to do that. So the volume of this pyramid is 60, and again it's still in cubed units, and so you'll notice that it is in fact 1/3 of the volume of the prism that was the same, had the same dimensions, except for it was a prism instead of a pyramid. Alright, and last but not least, let's see, we said we calculated this whole surface area of the circle to be 25, right? 5 squares, let me say area equals pi r squared, so 5 squared is 25 times 3.14. If you remember, that was 78.5. So volume equals well, base times height divided by 3. Volume equals 78.5, and our height was 6 divided by 3. I'm going to cancel these two out, and 78.5 times 2 equals 157 cubed units. Okay, 157 units cubed. Alright, that is the video for today. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.